Welcome. Come one, come all. Coming off Phillies Uncensored Sports Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. You can catch us there. Coming off a nice, solid victory over a Tatumless Boston.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Don't do that.
I'm stating the facts here. Did he play? Did Tatum play?
No, but they had the reps, so they was all right. So go ahead, continue.
No, I'm not saying that's why we won or lost. I'm just saying they didn't have Tatum.
I got you. You're right.
They didn't have Tatum, but like I was about to say before I was.
But they had the reps. But go ahead.
Win is a win is a win. So I take it any way we can get. And they did have a rest. I agree. The rest was trash tonight. It was on another level. But the game, we won the game 122-110. It got close toward the end. I mean, I give it the bull. Jalen was balling. He kept them in the game. Smart was trying to do his thing a little bit, but Jalen was he was in his bag. He was like the bull said. He was in his bag deep, like the fries was in the bottom. But he went in. He kept them in. But ultimately, we had Embiid. Embiid is the X factor. B, and I can't hate on Tobias, and Ben came through late in the fourth quarter. I know I've been very critical of Ben on the podcast, but honestly, I'm not. Let's not get carried away. I got a feeling. I got a strong indication that Tim and Wayne is going to get all extra about Ben. Let's see this. Let's watch this play out, folks.
All right.
Listen.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Let me jump in because
go ahead.
This is one of my proud moments on a podcast, to be honest with you. I mean,
that 15 points.
The whole team played well. I mean, Thybulle came in and gave us some great defense, hit shots. He was just on the money, just hitting shots, playing D. He had this nice block, a recovery block on what was the boy name? What's their guard, the shirt guard?
You talking about
Kemba.
Walker.
And then got a dunk off of it. It was beautiful. And then you had we had solid minutes from everybody. Korkmaz, he had a good three, but he played way too many minutes in this game.
I agree.
I mean, Doc has some fascination with Korkmaz. Korkmaz is not an NBA player. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna keep saying
it. Stop. He is an NBA player. He just ain't the NBA player that should be getting that minutes that he gets.
Okay, he's not.
It's a lot of trash dudes in the NBA. Let's.
But can I just give props to the man himself, young Benjamin Simmons?
No, you can't.
The man.
Because you was hating. You started letting them unmelanated brothers start getting in your head, and you was hating on Ben Simmons so bad.
What I was saying was
slightly melanated. The phrase is slightly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all right. Lightly melanated.
I was being an analyst, and I was seeing what I was seeing. But today, fourth quarter, Benjamin ball, and y'all got to give him his props. He was. I mean, they got scared. All of a sudden, they started double teaming him at the half court. They was like, okay, he's a problem. Get this man.
Listen, let me say this, right? First of all, I wish the little hating troll was on here, but he ran. He not showing up on the podcast tonight because not only did the Sixers win, but the Nets lost again. But we're gonna talk about the Sixers right now. We're gonna talk about the Sixers right now, right? And listen, I'm not overhyping. I get what you're saying, Ephraim. I'm not hyping Ben Simmons and making like he was just great, like he balled out, like he did exactly. This is what I want from Ben Simmons. When the opportunity arises, you aggressively attack the basket. You play solid defense, which he did all game, and just do what he did tonight. Like he wasn't getting the rebounds that he usually gets. He had 11 assists, 15 points. I'm okay with that with the defense that he did.
Yep.
Embiid is Embiid. Tobias is low-key hooping.
He is.
Now, I want to say I did think it was a couple things Doc did that kind of irritated me. For one, I thought Doc should have took a tech early in this game because they was hosing Embiid. I can't stand Boston. All that crying they did, and the refs came out and was trying to give Boston everything. And this is why. Real quick, this is why this win to me got me hyped. Because y'all know for real, I don't complain about the refs a lot. The refs was holding us because Boston cried the last game, and we fought back and won it. So even without Tatum, I'm taking this win, and this win to me feels great.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with a lot of that. I mean, Ben played great defense throughout the game. Most of the time he was on Jaylen Brown. He made the shots very difficult for him. Jaylen Brown was hot, so he got a couple here and there, but for the most part, Ben played great defense. He was active on not only on his man, but even just on the floor in general. He was trying to be active. I give him credit for all that. Offensively, the first 3 quarters to me, he played like trash. Yeah. He came around in the fourth quarter and started hitting some shots. The one little scoop layup joint he hit when he shot it over the center ball, great shot. He had a couple great shots in the fourth quarter, but he did play like trash offensively. In the first, he to me, he still does the same stuff that he did differently in the fourth quarter, which I was impressed.
He was not taking shots.
Right.
No, but that's what I mean.
No, real quick though, Ephraim, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that he was trash offensively because he was getting assists. This what I'm saying. Like, just because he wasn't shooting the ball, the shots wasn't necessarily there, but he was giving the ball up and getting assists. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I agree with you. Like the way he played in the fourth quarter, this is the way I want him attacking the basket.
And that's the thing, and that's all I think all Sixers fans are looking for. And this is where I've been very critical. Tim came around last week. No, but your point was valid. You've been caping for Ben this whole season and last, and I understand where you at with it. But at a certain point, you do got to see what you see, and it's like, yo, you making the offense work harder than it should be. This is how I feel too, because you have these you taller than 90% of the people, or the matter of fact, maybe 100% of the guards you face. I don't know no other 6'10" guard in the league right now. So you taller than every guard that you face, and most of the time when you go into the basket, you taller than probably 80% of the small forwards and power forwards, maybe 60% that you step to, or you're at least the same height. Yet you refuse to take some of these shots that you could be easily taken and possibly making, as we just saw in the fourth quarter. And I think that's where a lot of people mad. But altogether, the boy I'm more impressed with more than Ben is the Tobias, man. Tobias, he was in his
at one point he was down for 10.
I told y'all.
10 for 12.
I told y'all in words. I told y'all.
I will give away credit because he was saying that. Yeah.
At one point, like do the first 3 quarters, I had actually wrote notes. I said Ben did not look for his shot. I said it's time for Doc to worry about Ben.
I told you
his lack of development on offense and was for lack of shooting is a problem. Those were my notes that I initially wrote,
and they were true.
But it's not though. And this is what I'm saying.
I'm saying no. He didn't say it was true. I'm telling you it was true. He wasn't looking for his shot.
No, but even with that, this is what I'm saying. Like, I get what y'all. I'm not ripping y'all for how y'all say about Ben not shooting, because I want him to shoot too. But when I'm looking at it, when you got Seth Curry is hitting, and Danny Green shot horrible tonight though. But when you got these shooters, Seth, and you got Tobias, and you got Embiid, I don't necessarily want Ben shooting the shots. For real, the only reason why I was even tight like that was because the refs was hosing us. When they got Embiid, they called some trash foul calls on Joel Embiid. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm cool with Ben Simmons playing the way that he does, whereas though, like, I get what y'all saying. Y'all want him to shoot more, but if other dudes are hitting, like if you got other guys hitting, I don't need Ben taking them shots. But I appreciate it. In the fourth quarter, when he saw that they was getting wore down, he attacked them.
But I think to me, you making the offense too complicated by not. I'm not even talking about these mid-range and these deep zones. I'm talking about he's 8 feet away from the basket and still refuses to shoot. You making the offense a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Now, granted, tonight was different because everybody was on pretty much, except the only people who was off really was Shake Milton and Danny Green. Danny Green, he came in and played starters minutes pretty much, but Shake Milton had 18 minutes. But everybody else, Tobias was 83%, B was 73%, Seth was 60%. Yeah, I mean, like Ben ended 70% because he blacked out in the fourth, but mostly even Thybulle was 50%. Everybody was hitting, so it worked. It worked tonight. But what's the chances you're going to see Toby shoot 83, Joel shoot 70. What's the chance you're going to see that? Yeah,
what's
I mean,
the chances what's the chance you're going to see the refs hose Embiid like the way they was hosing?
I mean, but that's a different story to me. I'm talking about the story.
But I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, it stuff offset. This the one thing I feel about the NBA.
But Ben B started getting his calls. He was getting hold.
No,
he had to go into the line.
He finished with 15.
No,
he ended up shooting 15 free throws.
Listen, he did. And remember, I don't know if you remember in the chat, that's what I said. I said I'm not worried about it because I feel like I feel like this is how the NBA goes. Usually when the one team gets a lot of calls, shaky calls, it ends up balancing itself out. That's how come I usually don't rip the refs with certain stuff. But like I don't get caught up in what they hold this. If you have noticed, I always do that because to me it always balances out. That's why I was a little concerned about Ben's Embiid early on because he started getting frazzled. And that's when I thought, and I'm gonna put this on Doc, that's when I thought Doc should have took a tech. Doc should have cussed somebody out. Now I don't cuss, but Doc should have cussed somebody out and got a tech. Just to let them know, like, y'all doing my man dirty. He should have snapped, for real.
Yeah, he probably should have snapped.
What I don't like from Doc, now I'll be giving Doc a lot of credit and justly deserved. Doc has been coaching exceptionally well. I think it's his coaching that got Tobias playing the way he's playing. I give Wayne credit for saying that earlier. He said when Doc get here, I think he's going to do a great job with Tobias. Kudos to Wayne. He called it, and Tobias has been playing very well this year. The way Embiid has been playing, Embiid's making decisions a lot faster. I still think he waited a couple times in tonight's game where he could have kicked out to Steph real quick. You got a dude shooting 60%. You look for any moment to kick to this dude to shoot the three. That's my opinion.
Yeah. It was Embiid head all together tonight. They was Embiid head a little bit tonight.
I agree. But that being that,
I need them to stop flopping so much. I need them to just.
I agree, but hold on, we're gonna get to that. But be that as it may, I do not like the fact that Korkmaz got 17 minutes and Maxey got 6. I don't like that. This dude Maxey, in my opinion, possibly if you let's say hypothetically, Ben walks, right? Ben don't want to be here no more, or you trade Ben after his contract is up. Or before his contract goes up, rather, for some whatever you get Zach LaVine bill or whatever, even if you trade him for some tangible goods, right? Maxey will be the next dude. Korkmaz is not going to be your guy. Yeah, so why are you giving this dude Korkmaz all the time?
Maxey, I'm playing a little devil's advocate because Boston is they're men like they may even like not Jaylen Brown, but I keep forgetting Kemba. He's strong, and Maxey is still a young boy and body, and it's hard for him to really.
No, I'm not buying that because Maxey last game, and I think he didn't struggle this game. I think he came out this game different.
I don't think Boston is a good matchup for him as far as the physical.
Who, Maxey?
Yeah, I don't necessarily buy that because this game
Boston is a little different.
Because this game, when he came back in the second half, Maxey was attacking him. He had his little running floater and everything else early on. But that's what I'm saying about real quick. Hold on.
Maxey only shot. He was 1 for 1. He only had 6 minutes.
Right. The one floater.
What did you see, Tim?
On the defensive, he just not. I can understand why Doc probably didn't want to play him as much against this team.
But wait. You said defensively.
So you think Korkmaz is better defensively?
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say that.
Korkmaz was getting cooked. He shouldn't be in the league.
I mean, so once again, but this is my point. Which I know you try to play devil's advocate on it, but you got to give me something better than that. Come on, bro. Korkmaz's defense is suspect. I'm not trusting Korkmaz's defense over Maxey, and I'm not trusting his overall offensive game on Maxey. And Maxey, to me, is your future. So why are you playing to do? Maybe you trying to rest Maxey. One thing I'll say this.
They better give Maxey a whole bunch of minutes tomorrow night since we playing back to back.
The one thing I agree. The one thing
I actually see them young boys play a little bit more tomorrow. Because Detroit is bad. They're a bad team.
One thing I do know is that a bull coming out of college, I remember Iguodala always said this. When you in college, you play 30 games or so. It's not, it's like a 30, 40 game schedule. He said after a certain point, not even 30, I think it was like 20 something you end up playing in college, close to 30, even with the tournament. You end up hitting a wall.
Yeah.
You end up hitting a wall when you come in the league. So maybe he's trying to, kind of stretch out his time and minutes in the game. So he doesn't hit that wall as soon, or he could kind of ease him into the NBA season, which is, long. Now, obviously, it's a little cut down from the normal season, but maybe that's some of his reason. I'll give him that for tonight. But if this is the pattern, I'm going to be heated.
No, listen, I agree with you. If you remember, I actually said that a couple podcasts ago, like when he wasn't getting the minutes, that's why I was saying, like, because they don't play nearly as many games in college, and then we're playing a lot of back-to-back games. Now, real quick, I gotta give my man Herb Brown a shout out. He hit me up on Facebook because he said he want to hear what all the homies had to say about Ben tonight. I just wish the little Ben hater was on here tonight. Where is he at? Where is the Ben Simmons hater, New Jersey Nets lover at tonight?
I know.
He might be putting in QT though. I ain't gonna hate on him. I ain't gonna hate on
him. Yeah, he is. But listen, he
know tonight was a big game. I don't want to hear that. Any other time he would shoot a text real quick. Ben Simmons is trash. We need to trade him.
I want to see what they look like with Jason Tatum on the team. Like, I would like to play them like their full squad and see how we match up. But I'll take these 2 wins. This felt like a little playoff series that we just like a mini playoff series that we just experienced with the team playing back to back. So I don't like this. You get a chance.
It definitely felt like a playoff game. It did. I ain't gonna hold you. It did. Listen. I don't get hyped about regular season games like that. I was in this joint hype. I'm not even going to act like I'm not hyped up right now because it was a hype game to me because I felt like the Sixers was getting railroaded a little bit early on with the calls. And I got nervous because Embiid started getting, it was like they was in Embiid's head. And he started doing all that, like to your point, he started doing extra flopping, like trying to get the calls and everything else. Yeah. But then after that like once they settled down and they came back out, and Toby's like the silent assassin right now. Yeah. Like we really not even talking about what Toby was doing. Tobias was balling offensively and defensively.
You gotta give props to the second and third best player on the team, which is Toby and Seth Curry.
I don't know. Ben was second. Ben back at second best tonight.
No.
Ben back to second best tonight.
Ben had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.
He leads back to third. No, wait. Listen. I'll say he's back to third best tonight. Seth still got to work his way back up. He out of shape a little bit.
Yeah. I give you that for the night, but I'm projecting ahead. To me, I'll say this, and this is going to sound hate, but it is what it is. If we had to lose Ben or Seth, I'd rather lose Ben. I'd rather keep Seth. So in my opinion,
I think you can replace Seth with Shake. I don't know if you can. You can't replace.
You ain't shooting. Listen, Seth is shooting 60% from
I can't
three.
Hate on
you know what Shake is shooting?
I can't hate on.
You know what Shake is shooting?
I can't.
So you can replace. You can replace that with Shake's.
If I had the choice between the two, it's easier to replace Seth than it is to replace.
Nah, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Honestly, what I'm gonna say about.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
No, Ephraim, wait, I got you. Honestly, I can say, what Seth does offensively, he opens up a whole lot of stuff, like with his shooting and everything else.
I agree,
and even the threat of him shooting. But I will say this too. I think Ben Simmons' defense on it. It seems like whoever they put Ben, that's like the other game. People was like, oh, did you see Jaylen Brown crack Ben? Jaylen Brown made like 4 moves to get a fadeaway, a defended fadeaway basket from Ben, and people was hyping it like Jaylen killed him. Like that was good defense. So I honestly think that both of them are equally important, and I'm glad we don't have to choose between them on this team.
Oh, that's diplomatic. That's diplomatic.
No. That's how I honestly feel. Because wait, real quick though, Tim. Because this is the whole point I've been making when everybody was talking about Harden. We have depth. We don't have to rely on 3 big-time scorers to carry everything. We have guys that can come off the bench. Like you can have somebody have an off night, and you have other dudes carry it.
Doc Rivers in his press conference tonight was like, "Been down the stretch." That was awesome.
You don't have to hate tonight, bro. You don't have to hate tonight.
No, I'm not hating. I'm not going to hate. I'm giving Ben all the love. Ben, this is what I guess, honestly, not even I guess, but this is what I personally, and I think the majority of the Sixers fans envision for the Bull consistently, not just for a 5-minute stretch in the fourth quarter. Consistently seeing him do this, I think this is what we all envision. You know, I'm happy for. I mean, hopefully this is a step in the right direction. I honestly, I'm going back to hating. I doubt it, but I hope to see it going forward. Listen, I will gladly, and this is no cap. I will gladly eat my words about Ben Simmons if this dude does this consistent. I will gladly. I was the Bull who was arguing with Reg up and down when he first got drafted, and Reg was saying he don't shoot, and I was like, man, you was
arguing with me too about it.
Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I argued cats down in Ben's behalf. So if he comes back and do what he's supposed to do, guess what I say? I'll be like, man, well, I called him when he first got drafted. I'm gonna be that boy. Like, well, I did. I'm gonna change my whole tune.
Like me with Toby, right?
When he first got drafted, he was gonna be that bull. Now he just happened to take a little longer, but he that bull now.
The Bull Doc said that Embiid is the one who actually suggested that they keep pick and rolling with Ben down the stretch, so he can like do his.
Embiid is growing before our eyes, honestly. And this is me not, and I know some people
MVP
who's on here sometimes always talking about living in the moment, but I'm looking at this team. Yeah, what you say, E from make sure you get that straight is Ethan.
Yeah, exactly.
but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at this team and I'm pumped about this game because all season I've been saying I'm not getting too hyped because I want to see certain stuff. But to me, tonight was a playoff type game, and it was a game you had to fight against the elements. You know what I'm saying? So and they battled it out and won. This was a big game to me. I want to see where they go from there, but this was a big game to me.
It was. Now we got Detroit back to back, so we should sweep them. Dead honest, they only got 3 wins, and then Wednesday we go and we play the Lakers, and Ben always shine against the LeBron.
Come on, don't listen. Don't
against LeBron.
Don't clap him up now because you're gonna mess around making play.
They ain't gonna drop
because you was hating on. Keep hating on him like you was at the last.
Gonna have 25.
No,
against LeBron. I'm
keep hating on. Keep hating on Ben the way that you've been hating on him, so he can continue to play this way. We don't need you gun clapping.
Oh no,
Ben couldn't get 25 down Bowhouse Row, so I'm not expecting Ben to get no.
Ben's got that. He's got 25 in the playoffs before. Stop.
Exactly. So
no, listen. Hopefully step up. I'm hoping this is a step in the right direction. Doc, I'll say this: Doc has everybody playing better. Yeah. So if he could get Ben to take his game to the next level, I'm good with that. Tobias is clearly. I don't think Tobias ever shot 83% from the field when he's taken 12 shots in his life, especially with us. Especially with us, not with Brett.
And I'll go back to what I was saying, and somebody was disputing me in the last podcast. This is the difference between Doc and Brett. This is the whole point that I'm making. Like, even when Ben, and I'm not making like Ben dropped like 50 points or nothing, like, but if you look and see what the stuff that Ben does, like I said,
average out if you take the fourth quarter.
No, stop. He puts
for 36 minutes. If you put
exactly.
What you
that's what
if he puts Ben in a position where someone has to defend him. Like even when Ben is down around about, Brett used to keep Ben up top, like and nobody's going to guard him there because he's not going to shoot.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers put people in position where they gotta play honest against people. So I listen. I give Doc a lot of props, man.
Ben was in the corner. He wanted that corner 3 so bad at the end of the game.
No, he didn't. He
wanted it.
Thank you, Wayne.
Stop, Tim. See, Tim, this is why don't nobody believe you. This is why don't nobody.
Thank you.
This is why you are invalid with your opinions sometimes.
Thank you.
You start talking.
Thank you. We was doing so good. We was doing so good. And this is what you end off the show with. Come on, man. Stop.
Here's what I'm gonna say though. I'm about to say LeBron. Doc Rivers has to find a way to get Korkmaz out of the rotation. He has to.
It's easy. It's easy. Don't play him.
No,
especially over Max.
He's got belief in him.
I don't think Korkmaz has to come out the rotation altogether.
I ain't seen a person get self in a long. Like you see how he shot the ball, airballed it, grabbed it, and then tried to lay it up. And
it happened almost twice. He shot like 2 air balls tonight.
Danny Green shot air balls too. So
He was 1 for 7 at one point. But
listen,
Court,
I'm not caping for Korkmaz. But I agree with y'all. He got entirely too many minutes tonight.
How many minutes you think is good for Court?
About 5 in a game. In certain games in this season, where you have back-to-back games and stuff like that, I'm not mad at having a Korkmaz. But that being said, I kind of honestly would have liked to see Isaiah Joe in that position.
Yeah, that's what
I was saying. See, that was my thing. That's what I'm getting mad about, because Isaiah Joe, to me, is showing himself to be very consistent shooting the three. So now, obviously, you got Maxey. Maxey with a whole game starting dropped 38 and didn't shoot no free throws. I don't think I ever saw that. I never saw a dude drop.
But that wasn't against
40.
Boston defense. That wasn't against Boston defense, though.
It's still in the NBA.
Yeah,
my thing is, this dude is clearly showing his upside is through the roof. Now, like I said, it's one game. I'm not going, as Ethan say, I'm not going to live in a moment and say Doc is, is frauding on the board, whatever. It's one game. I still don't like it, but it's one game. We'll see going forward. About Bede, though. This dude, he blacking out right now. He blacking out. Bede right now, in my mind, is the MVP of the league.
Oh, I think in most people's mind, he got to be the MVP.
I think he the MVP. Yeah.
Joker averaging a triple-double with 25
he
points.
Is. He is.
And he's top 5 in steals, though, too.
That's the one thing I was going to say about Bede. To me, Bede should average more than 3 assists a game. Bede should be averaging at least around 6. But that, to me, goes back to his quick decision-making with some of these passes. It was a clear couple passes tonight. He could have kicked it out to Steph, but he was trying to prove a point. I think Bede he ego jack a little bit sometimes. He go in there, he the biggest dude. They be whacking him and flopping, and sometimes he want to impose his will, which I'm not mad about. But when you see that double team coming, just kick it. You could easily impose your will one-on-one. When you see the double team come, you got a dude shooting 60% from 3. Kick it to him. Like, don't play with it.
7-7, by the way.
What'd you say?
That's another reason I was going to bring that up, Tim. Why I think why Bede should be MVP. We got the best record right now in the East.
No, absolutely. But wait, real quick about the point you made about Bede. This is what I'm gonna say. Now, of course, I ain't on no Embiid level, but like when we play rec ball, we know, like me in my older years have been more of a post player. Sometimes it's not that easy to turn that off. I'd rather see Embiid being that way and not passing the ball out as much. Because just think about it. It's like as soon as he touched it and he see a double team, he throw it out. Then it's like you feel like he being soft and he's not being aggressive. So I'm not. It's a fine line to find that balance. Like whereas though being aggressive and imposing your will, and then also passing the ball out though. So I if I got to choose, I'd rather be the more aggressive Embiid in the post. Because remember, we done seen that Embiid that want to shoot the jump shots and play more passive, and I don't like that Embiid. I'd rather this.
But it's one thing to be aggressive to your own detriment. Because a lot of times he get in there, and if he don't get the call, especially come playoff time, a lot of them Jones are going to be in turnovers like they was tonight.
I don't agree. So I don't agree with that. I think in the playoffs, I think in the playoffs, the big man actually gets more calls.
Nobody gets more calls in the playoffs.
No, the big men
all go down.
I think they do. Okay.
Well, the playoffs.
We're gonna see.
There's ain't been a lot.
The whistles get a little bit tighter in the playoffs.
It does, but this has always been my point. And if you know it, anybody that's played with me know that I say the same thing. Like even when I play in tournaments and under the whistle and everything else, if it's getting that physical as the offensive player, and if I'm the more physical offensive player, I'm going to attack extra hard, and I'm gonna make the refs make a call. Like either you're going to call me for beating up on these dudes, or you're going to call them for grabbing me. So, and at a certain point, then the refs feel like they got to get control of the game, and then it's like, all right, wait, it's getting out of hand, and then they start calling all the calls. If you notice, they do that in NBA too.
Before we get out of here, I do want to say Jaylen Brown is the real deal, and
he definitely is.
Jason Tatum. If they get their act together, like really, because they got the team to be.
They need a center.
They probably are a center, but they got a nice team, and then with Kemba, Jaylen, and Tatum, they got all the pieces you need to win. There's no reason.
No, they don't. Nick, didn't I just say they need a center? So they don't got all the pieces to win. They don't have all the pieces.
They got the two.
They need a center.
Serviceable.
They need a center. No, they don't. They need a center.
They probably, if anything,
Anybody in the East needs somebody that can at least make it hard for Joel Embiid. For real.
That's facts. You're going to have to go through the Sixers right now. It's looking like to get to the championship. So you're going to need a big man that can it's like when Minnesota, when Green Bay and everybody was drafting cornerbacks to stop Randy Moss because they knew the only way you could beat Minnesota was to stop Randy. That's what it is right now with B. You going to need – that's why the Nets went out there and they grabbed themselves a center because they said, you know what? We getting trashed by the likes of Cleveland. Yeah. You know when B come rolling through, it's KD ain't stopping B. Harden ain't stopping B. They not stopping.
Right yeah, Allen imposing his will on them dudes. So imagine what's going to happen, man.
Exactly. Imagine what B going to do. So B right now, I think to me, the top two contenders, I believe for the MVP right now. I mean, I know it's early, but it's Bede and Steph Curry. Steph Curry. Steph Curry and Bede is right now to me in the running for MVP, but that's just my opinion.
No, I can't argue with that because
Steph Curry is not in the running for that.
Why not? Why would you say he's not?
And I hate on Steph a lot just because I like to troll Ephraim.
Don't make it.
Listen, I troll Steph. I troll Ephraim a lot with Steph. But when you look at this team, Golden State team, yes, Steph is doing his thing. I can't even hate on Steph right now.
One game over 500. They barely at the 500.
But look at his roster. Oubre, they brought Oubre in here. Oubre is taking it up
for his team. He's not the most viable player in the league.
If he wasn't playing on there, they wouldn't even be in the playoff contention. Doesn't matter. Put it that way.
I agree. That's facts.
It do matter. That means he's the most valuable player.
And again, I say he's the most valuable player for his team. We all don't dispute that.
So what do it mean? So what do it mean for somebody to be the most valuable player for the league then?
You don't know.
Do it mean the league is going to fall off if that dude don't play for the league? No, it's saying he's the most valuable player, meaning as though.
Well, that's one thing.
Vote most valuable player means
let him talk. Player means over tonight.
Most valuable player means if this dude wasn't playing for his team, they would be trash or they would be nowhere near where they are. Most valuable player don't mean the best player. That means because to your team, you're so integral to your team that this team couldn't function at that level without
what the most valuable player means.
What is it? All right, then what is it?
The most valuable player is like, how did you rank against everybody else, the league, the superstars of the league? What did you do that put you above everybody else?
Yes.
You know,
that's the point. Do you understand what you're saying? That's you saying what he don't understand to help your team.
No, the most valuable player of the league and the most valuable player of your team is two different things.
But it ain't the
valuable player of this team.
No, when you're the most valuable player of the league, that means that you're so valuable to your team that you make your team what they are. No, if you're not on your team, and that's why I've always argued about LeBron James being most valuable player almost every year, because whatever team he goes to
team and say just because you're the tallest midget in the circus don't make, oh my God, he's so great.
But it ain't about being the tallest midget in the circus.
But it's about also
go ahead.
It's also, Tim, that's what you're talking about helping your team be successful. We're making a point. You not understand what we're saying. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, Golden State might have 2 wins right now. They really might have 2 wins, if that. That. So the point is that he's so valuable that he's actually willed them to a record that's above 500. Now we're going to see how. Now once again, we talking early on. We'll see how the season plays out. But as of right now, as of this moment. What's the date? January 23rd or whatever. As of this moment, Steph Curry and Joel Embiid are the 2 most valuable players in the league.
That's not true. I beg to differ. I would say.
Okay. So who's your most valuable player then? Who's your 2 most valuable?
My most valuable player is Embiid, Joel Embiid.
Okay. Who's next then?
Kevin Durant.
Okay, the dude who barely even played so far.
What?
I like
what's the next record? What's the next record? What's their record?
They like 5 games.
Exactly my point. Stop this dumb stuff. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm Ethan on this podcast.
Listen, I'm not gonna fight y'all today. I'm
moving on
right now.
No. Real talk though, Tim. I get what you said. This is why
I don't get what he's saying.
No, I get what he's trying to say.
I don't.
But when you're talking about somebody being MVP, when you're talking about somebody being, this is why people don't give MVP to a person whose team is trash. Because he might be putting up those numbers, but if his team is not balling at a high level, it don't make a difference if he was on there or not. So for Steph Curry,
a 500 when let's say he finished it 35 and 35. I don't know how many games, but let's say 35 and 35. You saying if he averaged 25 points a game, he should be the MVP?
No, I'm not.
That's what they.
No, Golden State is a playoff team as of right now.
As of right now, but they won game.
And they just beat the Clippers, and they just beat the Clippers, and they just beat the Lakers.
They're only
the Nets are 9-8, but you said Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant has missed several games. So my thing is, if your best ability is your availability for one. I'm not giving an MVP to a dude who can't even play back-to-back games for one, and his team is 9-8. So there's your argument with that. Like I was saying, my two most valuable players are Steph Curry and the boy Embiid balling right now. I honestly think he's at 26 points a game. The rate he going, I think he's going to end up close to 30. He should actually be about 29, 30 points a game average.
He probably would have had like 50. He probably would have had like 50 points last night if 50 points tonight if they would have actually called the calls like they should have.
So right now in the MVP league, in the MVP race, definitely Durant and Embiid.
Durant not even touching that. It's Joker before Durant.
I give it to Joker before I give it to I give it to Bradley Beal before I give it to KD.
I would go for them three. I would go for Joker, Embiid, and Durant, and Steph maybe seventh place. But
no, it's not. Yeah, that's eight. And I hate to troll Ephraim, but I don't agree with you at all.
Because I felt like it. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Before we leave, another thing. Shout out.
Talk Sixers all night.
Rest in peace, Hank Aaron. We lost him today. Just
that was crazy.
All around great 86-year-old. He lived a long life, but
listen, can I say something real quick about Hank? I know we don't talk a lot of other sports other than football and basketball, but for real, to put what Hank Aaron was, like not even just talking about like with the whole race thing and everything else. Hank Aaron was so great as a home run hitter back when people wasn't hitting 50 home runs on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He was hitting like 44 home runs. Like I think his MVP season, he had like 44 home runs, like had like 100 plus RBIs and and batted like 320 percentage.
That's amazing.
And only had 65 strikeouts. When Ryan Howard won MVP, he still had like over 100 strikeouts.
Yeah.
With his 55 home runs. This dude only is a power hitter and only has 65 strikeouts. Hank Aaron, go.
I still recognize Barry Bonds as the home run king.
Nope.
But I do because I'm a Barry Bonds fan, but still much respect to Hank Aaron because he carried it for 30 years. That was his title.
If Hank Aaron had steroids in the system, he probably would have smacked 100 this season.
There's never been confirmation that Barry Bonds ever.
Oh, it's absolutely confirmation.
It's never been confirmed.
His head looked like a pit bull. It's absolute confirmation.
I got much love for Barry Bonds. I mean, but if you want to keep it a buck, I mean, Hank Aaron got the record. Barry Bonds only eclipsed him by like 7 home runs, and he was juicing hard for the last 8 years of his career or more, or something like that. So ain't no way in the world.
Barry Bonds was a monster, though. I'm not going to take that from him.
No. Barry Bonds was he was a great player.
Hank Aaron is my home run leader.
There's no way, realistically, he would have did that without the juice or the HGH. So it's kind of like
not even just the juice, though. They started changing the dimensions of the baseball fields to make it more home run friendly. And it's documented that they made the baseballs better to jump off the bats.
You still got to hit the ball, and Barry Bonds was always a great hitter.
He was.
So was J-Roll. J-Roll was a great hitter too. If J-Roll started gassing, he would have had about 500 home runs. J-Roll always got on base. He was one of the best hitters in Philly franchise.
He was a
the point is it's about the strength that you make contact with with the ball with. So if you can increase your velocity on your bat speed, you can increase how far you're gonna hit that ball.
Absolutely.
So like I said, I'm not hating on Barry. I like Barry, But the fact is, him, McGuire, all them boys, them 73 home runs McGuire hit against Sosa and all that, they wouldn't have got that joint above for the gas. They wouldn't have.
But special shout out, rest in peace, legend. You put up numbers. Not only you was a fine example, like a hero to a lot of people of the older generation. So just thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be playing Detroit. We'll be back tomorrow. So please, again, comment, subscribe, like the video, and we'll definitely catch you on the next.
We going all the way.
Here we go. We out.
Championship.
I'm still.